Yo, 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 yo. Welcome to the Uncommon Commentators. I'm the boy Antoine. This is my main man, Garrett. Y'all already know what we got going on today. Got a real special show. It's a holiday for all us hoop fans out there. Y'all already know what time it is. It's the beginning of the NBA Finals. One team from the East, one team from the West. But of course, we got a lot of other stuff. Hell yeah, fuck yeah. You already know what time it is. Best time of the year. It's like Christmas for us or for y'all, of course, because y'all watch basketball as well. But yeah, I got a great show for y'all today, but can't get it kicked off before I talk to my man GB. How you been, Garrett? How's your week, bro? No, it's like I said, it's a national holiday, so I know you're excited just as much as I am to watch this shit. Most definitely.
Yeah, man. It's like every week goes by faster and faster. But today we have game one of the NBA Finals between OKC and Indiana. So it should be a very fun series between both teams. So I can't wait to see who gets the win tonight. So let's get into it.
And got to start off by giving you a shout out for rocking that Vucetti. You feel me? For y'all that don't know,
Of
Vucetti is
course.
Dyson Daniels, this brand. Dyson Daniels, the Atlanta
Yes,
Hawks
sir.
shooting guard. He's found success on the floor and off the floor. So got to give a man Garrett a shout out for rocking the hometown brand. Most definitely, absolutely. Go cop some Vucetti now. It's a good brand, as you can see, my man wearing it.
Yes,
But
sir.
yeah, we can go ahead and get to it. It sucks. We got to start off the show on a note like this. I never like to see a man lose his job. I get it. People aren't feeling too bad for him because he has a lot of guaranteed millions on the way. But at the same time, you never like to see a man get literally fired in front of the world. You can have your worst day of your life, lose your job, and no one know about it but your friends and your family. But in this position, your whole like everyone knows your friends, your family. If they watch other sports and have the ESPN app, they're gonna know you lost your job today. And Tom Thibodeau's phone was flooded with thank you and oh man, that's BS, but this and that. Even Stephen A. Smith himself, the New Yorker from Harlem, New York, came out and said that he thought the firing was weak. And I get it. I thought Tom Thibodeau did a great job as the Knicks head coach before he was unfortunately fired. He was the 2021 Coach of the Year, and throughout across 5 seasons with the Knicks, he went 226 to 174. And he just had his best season out of all the 5 seasons. He was a couple wins away from the NBA Finals. I just think when he lost those two home games like that really put a bad taste in the owner of the Knicks. Leon Rose, all those guys. So I think that really showed that he might not be the coach for them to actually take that next step. The way they dropped the first two games in Madison Square Garden like that, especially how New York was firing on all cylinders. The series before that, in my opinion. So, how do you think? Where do you think I should say Tom Thibodeau goes from here? Do you think the firing was justified? And is there a team you could see him coaching next? And what team would that be?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to determine where his next landing spot is at the
Mm-hmm.
moment. So I'm not sure where he could go. Um, but I think for Tom Thibodeau, and I said this before, that the NBA is changing to the point where when it comes to head coaches, they're giving a very short timeline to show themselves if they can lead a team to having success and whatever that goal is for that team, whether that's making the playoffs or getting to the conference finals or winning a championship, wherever the case may be. They're given a very short timeline to prove themselves if they can build a winning culture with their team. Now, yes, Tom Thibodeau has been there for 4 or 5 seasons, so he's been there in New York for a minute. But I think for me, I think when you look at this season, the fact of the matter is that they were 2 wins away from reaching the NBA Finals. So for me, I think that when you look at the real issue in New York, is just the fact of the matter is just that even though that they do have a very competitive team, but it's not competitive enough to be a championship contending team. I mean, they could run it back and and make some, tweaks around the edges here and there. But I don't think that it's not going to be quite enough to help them get over to the hump. It might, because I know a lot of people say, well, they just need a better bench unit, and which I do understand they do need that. So hey, that could do the trick. But I guess as far as how they're going to do so, I'm not sure, because to your point about Stephen A's take on Tom Thibodeau being fired, he also mentioned about how they traded 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges, and you traded one for Cat, along with Dante DiVincenzo and
DiVincenzo.
Julius Randle. So it's just, fact of the matter is just that you're very low on draft assets. So it's just like, okay, you may know what areas of improvement you need for the team as far as the players go, but exactly what assets do you have to really improve the team? Now, we're not gonna jump into everything on this episode, but there have been rumors that they could trade for Kevin Durant because he's on the trading block. He's going to be drawing a lot of interest around the league, so they are a team that could bring him in. But like I said, that's for another discussion. But all I've been saying is that for Tom Thibodeau, I don't think it was justified at all for him to get fired, because, like I said, they had a very successful season, and like I said, they were 2 wins away from reaching the NBA Finals. I think they should have given him another chance and to see if they were able to run it back and make some adjustments to the roster, then see what they could have done from there. But like I said, that's just the nature of the business. But hey, I think that um, due to the fact that this offseason we're going to see a lot of movement around this offseason. So who knows? He could get a landing. He could land a job elsewhere. Like I said, I'm not really sure what other team or teams he could go to, but at the top of my head right now. But we know Tom Thibodeau, he's a very successful coach. He's been around the league for a very long time, and he knows how to coach. So I'm pretty sure that he'll get another opportunity soon. But yeah, I don't think the move was justified, and I agree with, and this is my last point.
Mhm.
I do agree with Stephen A. Smith about Leon Rose, who's in control of the roster decisions. I do agree that he should have came out to the public and answered questions, because I know a lot of um, people around the NBA media regarding the Knicks. I know they want to ask a lot of questions about their direction and what they're trying to do to win. And I feel like if you are the guy that's making the decisions around the roster, then yes, you should let the public know as far as what is your plan on how you want to win. So, but like I said, that's just part of the business. Teams are trying to win; they're not trying to wait. So I get it, but at the same time, yeah, I think Tom Thibodeau should have deserved another chance, but obviously he didn't. So I wish him nothing but the best, and I hope that he'll find his next opportunity real soon.
Of course, man. And it's kind of crazy because, Tom Thibodeau was Carl Anthony's coach for about 3 seasons up in the Minnesota for the Timberwolves. And he reunited, and because he got fired from Minnesota too. And he got reunited in New York, and he got fired in New York on the same team with Carl Anthony. It's just crazy how that happened. Speaking of Carl Anthony, I did want to assess their future. So for now, like they owe Carl Anthony $49 million as the highest paid player on the team. OG's making 36 million. Jalen Brunson himself, I do love his contract. They're making a smooth 20. He makes a smooth 24 million, and he's under contract going into the 2029 season. So they do have their franchise cornerstone, the head of the snake, for a long time in his prime at that. He has a player option at 32, which he'll likely pick up. I'd be surprised if he left the Big Apple, seeing how they've treated him coming over from the Mavericks. And yeah, like Josh Hart makes 18 million, Mitchell Robinson makes 14 million, and after that, it's just substandard like Precious Achiuwa making 6 million and stuff like that. So all their main rotation guys, all the guys that Tom Thibodeau was really only playing, to be honest. They're under contract for a minute. Mikal Bridges, like you said, the picks they traded for. He's 28 years old. And he's going to be an unrestricted free agent going into the 2027 summer. So 2026 summer. for the 2026-2027 season. And that's a lot of money that's going to be owed and paid out over the course of that time. So I'm really curious to see how they're going to try to manage their future while also thinking about obviously trying to balance out their present with all of these contracts. It's a lot of money, and that apron's really gonna hurt the team. But obviously, we know how big of a market that New York is. They obviously make a lot. But in total cap allocations, it's 188,877,000 in 651. They have 48,289,000 and $651 in cap space. So we're going to see what moves they decide to make. I guess before we end on the Knicks, obviously with their season, assessing how it went, they had a good year. It's just when they dropped those first two games in Madison Square Garden, it was truly devastating. The first one was a classic, an all-time classic playoff game, in my opinion. So it's kind of hard to that was what it was. Like, that was a crazy shot. Tyrese made it. That just showed that was fate, the way it bounced up and bounced. It seriously kind of give me nostalgia when Kawhi Leonard hit that shot over Philadelphia. Of course, something he traveled when he made that shot, but I still thought it was a great shot nonetheless. And yeah, man, again, for New York's future, like I said, they got a lot of money they got to pay out. They got their stars on the roster for the future, especially Jalen Brunson. I think even when Minnesota traded Cat, he had just signed an extension. And Karl Anthony's 29 years old in his absolute prime. So the Knicks have him until 32 years old, where he'll be on a player option. But it's that contract. He's getting $53 million next year, $57 million in 2027, and $61 million if he picks up that player deal. So it's interesting to see where they go. Not really much to talk about on the draft side, because like you mentioned, they sold most of their draft picks either way. So they would have to make a trade during the draft night with some of their pieces to try to look towards the future. I don't think they do that, though. Everything New York has right now, it's all win now. All these players are in their prime, from Josh Hart to OG to Mikal. It's just the contracts. And if this team can get it done, this was their first season with Karl Anthony. So next season, they might look better with him, with a little bit of a new system, especially with a new coach to coach the team. But of course, we'll see what they do. But of course, I would love to hear what Wiley has to say about the situation. I know how you feel about Cat and how he's performed in the playoffs, fouling and stuff like that. And like I said, this was the second time being on a team where Tom Thibodeau got fired from. So where do you think the Knicks go from here? And how do you feel about Tom Thibodeau as a coach heading into the future?
So, does anybody feel like Cat and Julius Randle are the same person? It's just the fact that Cat can shoot threes a little bit better? Because that's essentially what they traded for. You traded for the same person you already had. Because think about it. If neither one are actively involved, they mentally check out. They mentally and physically check out. Now, when they're on top of their game, nothing to complain about. Nothing really to complain about. But they both will go out there and commit the dumbest fouls, and will leave you scratching your head like, why would you do that? My thoughts as far as Coach Tibbs getting fired, I kind of saw it coming just on the strength. It was because when you think about it, this was pretty much from a fan perspective and an organization perspective, this was championship, at the least the finals or bust. Mm-hmm. I won't say championship, but at the very least, finals or bust. It was more so hey, we got rid of Julius Randle. We got rid of the guy that we felt that was not producing, that should have been producing at the level that we wanted him to, alongside Jalen Brunson. And at the beginning, everything seemed to kind of work itself out. And then on top of that, you trade him right before the season starts. You make this trade right before the season starts. So Cat has to literally figure this shit out on the fly. And then we know how Tom Thibodeau coaches. So he's not finna go in, he's not going deep into the bench. A strong I will give him a strong 7. We know he's going to play 6 at the damn near at the minimum,
At the minimum.
7 at the most. And it eventually came to bite the Knicks in the ass, because you have no clue what your bench players are like. Can they produce? Can they fill in these minutes so your starters can get a break?
Mm-hmm.
But of course, this is his MO. Like, we've seen him at every stop that he's been, where the starters are going to get 90% of the burn. So I hate to see him get fired, but the way that this team was constructed, this was hey, we need to make it to the finals or it's nothing. And of course, I did hate the fact that, like, as soon as the finals was over, you see a tweet about, oh, Cat was a problem in the locker room type shit. And I'm like, yo, the damn body ain't even cold yet. Like, what are we doing? Like, let this breathe. Let Indiana enjoy their moment. Talk about the winners. Talk about the winners first. Like, give them their flowers.
Right.
Nope. Boom. Cat. It was something. I saw something about Cat, and then of course, as we go along, more shit's gonna come out. I have no clue what the Knicks should do. If I am the Knicks, I take a look at Jalen and Cat, and can they really play together? Because they got picked on all series long. They were the defensive liability in that Pacers series. Between that and go in and try and find you some actual legit bench players. Well, first of all, you got to find the coach, but outside of coaching, find you a bench that you can put your trust in, so that you can rest your starters, and hopefully that will get the Knicks where they need to be and surpass making it to the Eastern Conference Finals and making it to the finals.
They may have to trade one of their core players. To be
I
honest.
mean, and so be it. So be it.
Just might.
If you have to,
if they're going to improve their bench, which they need to, but due to the fact that where their situation is with the with the CBA and all that, they may have to. So now I don't know who that's going to be, but they may have.
Like you said,
he might be forced.
That's a good one.
You said Cat's owed 50 million?
49 million this year. Next year it's 53. The next year it's like.
And keep in mind, Mikal Bridges is up for extension too.
Yes, he is.
Well, the second apron is about to kill a lot of teams, anyways.
Yeah, so that's why you're going to see a lot of movement this offseason.
Yeah, absolutely. That second apron is going to cut a lot of teams off at the knees.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
For real, like, I definitely agree with what both of you said, especially like how Garrett just mentioned Mikal is going to do these dudes some money. Next year is his last year under contract with the Knicks before he's an unrestricted free agent. So he's set to earn $24 million. That means they might have to get him out of there while they still can get value for Mikal Bridges, not just not let him walk in free agency for nothing after 2 failed years on the Knicks. Obviously, he has an amazing rapport with Jalen Brunson as they play together in college and stuff. But it's just that, man, I don't know if they're able to pay all these dudes. And I do think if one, I say that's a good one because I don't really know who. Obviously, Jalen Brunson's going nowhere. Like, I think he's a great player. Like, I think if they had to choose one, he's the best one to build the team around. Him and Cal are at the same age, regardless. So, and Jalen's only getting better year by year. He's all NBA this season. So.
Also, Becky Hammond was right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a jerk.
Nah, you're good. Nah, you're fine, man.
Becky Motherfuckers is on Becky head when she
What
said that shit.
what did she say for those who don't?
Pretty much she said that Jalen Brunson at his size, because Jalen Brunson is 6'2". She's like, it really has only been two point guards at that size that we know that have been the top dog of the team and have
Lead
been
the team.
able to take them to a championship, and that's Isaiah Thomas and Steph
Thomas.
Curry.
What about? Oh yeah, I was gonna say Magic. Magic was 6'9".
No, I'm talking about at 6'2" and below.
What about
Steph Curry, Isaiah Thomas. Hard stop.
Can we count Can we count Chauncey Billups? No, he's 6'3", but you know, you want to count CB? I mean, I get it, the inch for sure. Nope. For sure. I mean, yeah, man. Like, to be the guy and do that, it's hard, man. It's extremely difficult. Chris Paul,
that's really that was
Chris Paul to me for shit sure is like definitely like the head of a snake player. Like
and he
CP3, like it's like from New Orleans to Los Angeles.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like there are many point guards, like Wiley said, that 6'3" and below, that a lot of great point guards have come and gone, but it's just the fact of the matter is just that when it comes to winning a championship, it's just it's not something that you see frequently of seeing a point guard leading a team, to a championship, because it's mostly teams that have won a championship is all their best player is normally coming from the from the front court, like LeBron, Kevin Durant, other guys, but
and I say
guards too, but
and I say no to Chauncey because that was more that team, the way that team was constructed, like you couldn't tell who was going to be the guy. So, and we know that Chauncey was the leader, the so-called leader of the team, but yeah, like on any given night, somebody could Tayshaun Prince can drop 30 on you.
Mm-hmm.
Rip Hamilton to drop 30. It was a pretty much anytime you played the Pistons team, it was a pick your poison moment.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas when it came to, like I said, when it came to Zeke and Steph, like you have to stop your first mission stepping on that court is how do we stop this one guy, and then you work your way around to the rest of the team.
Mm-hmm. Nah, for sure. Like Isaiah's achieved. I think only thing Isaiah didn't do was win like an MVP. He has 2 rings himself. Like, and he, of course, he beat Magic and Larry. Like he absolutely, of course, for sure. And it's crazy we're talking about this because it's a great segue for our second topic. I do agree. Thought it was a great one to definitely discuss around the end of the season, and because we have the best 2 teams on the world stage this evening, we wanted to discuss who is a superstar and who is not, or really more so the criteria of what we consider a superstar to be.
I'm sick of it. The national media has, I feel like it's starting to become a mockery when it comes to figuring out, this player is the superstar. This, like, you're handing again, this shit's become a participation trophy at this point, because the media is so desperate to crown somebody a superstar without letting them get the accolades and pretty much not only develop their game, but pretty much all the shit that entitles to being the superstar. So for me, I will give you what I think is an NBA superstar. Pretty much the first and foremost is you are the guy that every team knows that you have to stop. That you're the guy. There's no 1A, 1B, like you are numero uno, that you are the guy that you have to stop. And not only that, you are the guy that we know that if I'm on your team, I know we got the best chance of winning this game. Don't matter what's at stake. I know for a fact if I'm playing with this person, I got the best chance of winning this game. Now outside of that, now comes the endorsements, the marketing portion. Like, are you being marketed? Like everything that surrounds the shit. But then not only that, are you globally known? Because that's the big that's like one that's also the main point, the main part of that as well. Not only what up, Lauren? Not only are you, are you the man in the States, but if you go overseas, are are you known over there as well? So and like I said, it's the main media. I know for a fact, like for for me, I could tell who were the superstars in the league. Like it didn't have there was no question of the who's who. You had your superstars, you had your all stars, you have your stars, and you just have you have everybody else pretty much. But what at this point in age, like people are the media are like it's like they're grasping for straws because it's time for LeBron, KD, Steph. Like they're slowly, I say slowly, although it's time for one. It's time for one for sure. But they're slowly making their way out the door. They're about to transition into whatever's next for them. So now everybody's panicking. Oh damn, who's the next superstar? And so that's what I wanted to discuss. At least get your guys' perspective. And at this point, do you think that we have superstars in the NBA outside of the superstars? Because I have my superstars, but I want to compare them to who y'all have as superstars.
Yeah, I think it. Yeah, I think because I've seen this before. This happened maybe a year or two ago, but to Wiley's point, yeah, LeBron, Katie, Steph, like you say, they're slowly out their way out the door. So now people are wondering, okay, who's going to be the new face of the NBA? Uh, what superstars are we going to look upon? Things of that nature. Now, I think it's now. I do believe that we do have, superstars. Now, I guess it's going to be a debate in terms of, okay, is this guy a star, an all-star, a superstar, kind of player? And so, like for me, if you are a, I say if you are a top 10 player, I think it's fair to say that you are a superstar for sure. Now, if you're like a top 15 player, then I guess it's where it's debatable. Where okay, this guy he's a superstar, but then this guy is an all-star. So I mean, I guess that's where you have your debates. But for me, it's like okay, once those three guys are out the door, I think it's fair to say Jason Tatum is a superstar because of his impact that he makes on the court, and we know that he's the best player on the team, and we know that how hard it is to defend a guy of his caliber. We could say a guy like SGA, just knowing who he is as a point guard with his size and skill level, things of that nature. And you could say a guy like Anthony Edwards. He's a shooting guard. He leads the Wolves. They made it to the conference finals.
Has
So
hella endorsements,
yeah,
crazy
yeah,
endorsements.
yeah. And you could
Like,
say, and this is where
bro,
you could say it's debatable due to the fact that because for me it's just the fact that the players that I'm talking about, one thing they all have in common is that they're very, very young. They're not even really in their prime yet. I mean, they're getting there, but they're not quite there yet. And so even when you look at a guy like Victor Wembanyama, I wouldn't call him a superstar yet because of the fact that he's still very, very young and he's still growing and developing in his game. because even though that many people anticipate that, yeah, he's going to be a multi NBA All Star, he's going to be a multi Defensive Player of the Year award player,
MVP, all that.
and yeah, MVP, and of course, hopefully they'll win some championships, with him. But we just see how everything pans out. But to your point, Wiley, in terms of when it comes to endorsements and marketing, because one thing that I can say is that God rest his soul, Kobe Bryant. He was a global icon. Everybody knew him, not just here in the States, but all around the world. You can say the same thing for LeBron James. You can say the same thing for Kevin Durant. You can say the same thing for Steph Curry.
James Harden,
Now,
huge.
yeah,
Over in China.
sure, yeah, but it's just like, okay, those players that I just named, like I said, these guys are very young, so it's way too soon to tell. Now it's just like, okay, with Jason Tatum, I don't know if he's going to be a global icon like Kobe Bryant or LeBron James. Most likely, will never will, because I don't think he's very, very talented as a player, but I just don't think that he's going to be remembered as those guys. So I think it's cool to say, okay, this is a player who is a superstar, but as far as from a marketing standpoint, I don't think that those guys are going to get to that level. So, I guess it's debatable for sure as far as what era of basketball is better. So when you have a class of or an era of LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, and then you have this era of, like I said, Jason Tatum, SGA, Jokic, things of that nature. It's debatable, but that's why I say it's not as solid as it used to be during that time. But no, I think that the league is in good hands as far as NBA superstars that fans can look up to, as time goes on. But in terms of global icons, in terms of their impact on and off the floor, on and off the court, and in terms of marketing, things of that nature, there may only be a handful of guys that we can take from this era. So we'll have to see, but we just have to wait on see on that. But I think that's just my take on how I look at it on everything.
Of course, great takes from both of you gentlemen. I remember when Shaquille O'Neal came out and said that there are only 4 superstars in the league right now. Now, like, I can see where both of y'all are coming from. Like, I do think that the word superstar is overused nowadays. I like how Wiley put it, like how you have your stars, you have all stars, and you have superstars. It really shows you like if that's the case, because you two already laid it out really well. If that's the case, then I'll go ahead and try to find your personal criteria for a superstar. So going from Wiley first to Garrett second in the way that I asked you, Anthony Edwards, is he a superstar?
Nope.
Is Luka Doncic? Oh, Garrett, do you consider Anthony a superstar? Anthony Edwards.
Superstar?
He averaged 27 a game this year, like 5 rebounds and
don't even care.
Like 5.
They had this man in talks of being in talks with Jordan.
Yeah, that's why I was trying to explain.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay. I think that he is a superstar only to
he's everywhere.
Like that I know that he'll get there, because like I said, it's because I said that if you are a top 10 player, then I think it's fair to say that you are a superstar. But like I said, you can have your debates and all that, but I wouldn't say he's the next Michael Jordan or anything like that, because everybody knows that the only player that was close to being Michael Jordan was Kobe Bryant. God rest his soul. But I'm not gonna jump the gun or anything like that though. But
and that's the part that I was getting.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Not only the fans. I expect us as fans to do shit like that. Like, we're fans. Fans are short for fanatics.
Yeah.
But the media is where the issue is.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, they were having the discussion with Jalen Brunson and Tyrese Halliburton. Neither one of them are fucking superstars.
Mm-hmm.
Neither one of them are superstars. SGA, not a superstar. Not yet. Not yet.
I mean,
not
30.
Yet.
I mean,
he just got here. He just got here. Don't
So you're
matter how
not
many
talking
points.
like
Yeah.
okay.
Don't matter how I don't care about the numbers.
Okay, cool.
He just got here. He's just getting here. The thing is, this has to be consistent. And this is the part. That's the part that I feel like the main media is missing.
Mhm.
Like we watched players as we grew up, and people were consistent. LeBron, consistent. Kobe, consistent. Like once they got past those hurdles, those little choke points that they had in their career, like early in their career, consistency. And that's how they grew. Kevin Durant, consistency. Hell, Kevin Durant was, nobody talks about it, but Kevin Durant, hell, Nike had him plastered all over the place on commercials. Not Mr. What was it? Not nice. That was his thing. Like, but he was he had the backpack. Like that was it. That was his jam. Like none of these players are being advertised like they're not being marketed like that. And then on top of that, again, like you said, everybody's young, so everybody's like really just starting to get to that point.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying that they're not going to be superstars.
It's just not where they are right now.
No, not for
it may be like another decade before we circle around by this conversation.
And that's just for me. But within the next couple of years, yeah, somebody's going to take that leap. Like Anthony Edwards is on the right track. Like he's getting all the marketing stuff early, which is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Now it comes to, and still he's early in his career.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right, we need to see you go ahead and make that leap. If Anthony Edwards makes that leap, that's it. That'll be it for him.
But you know what? But you know what's going to also help his case. And I just thought about this. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you good.
But what's going to help come to think. I think I can only use Anthony Edwards in this example because, like, okay, Anthony Edwards versus Victor Wembanyama. We know the Spurs are more relevant than Minnesota because once upon a time they had a dynasty back in the day.
Absolutely.
They won multiple championships, but like I said, I think I can only use Anthony Edwards in this example. That's going to help his case as far as him being labeled as a superstar. Is how far can he take Minnesota? So it's like, okay, if he could get them to a point where he could win at least one championship for them, at least one, maybe two, but at least one, then I think that's something that's going to help his case. Now, I'm not saying that's the criteria, but I'm just saying it's more so of like, okay, we know he's the man, on the team, but as far as how far can he take that team go?
And he checks all the other blocks. That's the crazy. He checks every block. He has the charisma. He's out there talking shit. We know like you said, we know he's the man of the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's just the fact that you did all that talking to the old heads, but when you get somebody of your caliber in front of you, your age, your caliber, you nut up.
Mm-hmm.
So again, once he still has time. Like you said, all these players are young. The knock against Jason Tatum is you have no personality.
Mm-hmm.
You have no, because other than that, you've checked all the blocks from a player standpoint. You got your championship. You haven't won MVP yet, but you got your championship. Like you've checked all these other blocks, but you don't show no charisma. You're signed with Jordan, but there's no big marketing behind it. So, like you mentioned, Victor Wembanyama, TBD. He just got here.
Luka Doncic.
Luka, we know. Well,
given the Real Madrid, all that.
Luka has he has a whole nother slate to climb now. Like with him being in Dallas, like he checked all the blocks as far as from a player standpoint. Now it's time to see, can he get over the hump from a player standpoint. The rest is going to be, will they market him? That's it. Like, and I think that'll come if he makes that leap. Like a lot of these players, all of these young players to me, they are great all-stars. Just not superstars just
Nikola
yet.
Jokic.
Not superstar just yet. And
Really?
and the crazy part is he's checked all the blocks. He has the MVPs. He has
3
the
of them.
he has a championship. But again, it's the marketing standpoint. Like he's not again the NBA, and this falls on the NBA as well. Like you have to market these players. And if you're not marketing them, they're not gonna get that. They need that exposure. But also, again, his character, he's like, yo, basketball is my job. I got other shit that I like outside of this.
Horses.
So I think from a player standpoint, like from playing standpoint, yeah. Jokic.
Okay, so you're saying that guys like Jason Tatum, guys like Nikola Jokic, they are superstars in terms of what they do on the court.
Play,
You're just saying
but
as far as
the whole,
marketing,
but because all of that plays into each, all of it plays, all of it, all of it intertwines. So your play is one thing. Are you being marketed? Or do you have the character and the charisma, like all that shit intertwined? That's why I said Anthony Edwards is probably the closest to a superstar that you can get. He just hasn't won anything yet. That's it. Because he has a charisma. Adidas is doing, and credit to Adidas because Adidas is his commercials. His commercials have been great. He got, Sprite has been pushing him. Like everything has fell into place. It's just he hasn't made over that hump. And then once he makes it over the hump, are you consistent enough? Can you carry that team at it doesn't have to necessarily be a championship, but are you contending on a yearly basis type deal? Like, it's just so much that's involved in it. And I'm not ready to rush and push these young guys into that light and be like, yeah, this player is a superstar. But no, that SGA and Jason Tatum, like Joker, like, yeah, these motherfuckers are the ones that you need to watch. I'm definitely on board for that. Anytime they're on the TV, I'm there. I'm seated.
So I guess to end it, it would be only right to ask, who do you consider in the league right now to be an NBA superstar?
Shit, still our old heads. LeBron, Steph, they carry the weight. They're still carrying, as long as they're in the league, they're still carrying that weight. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, but LeBron, Steph, KD, hell, even James Harden. I don't even like James Harden like that, but James Harden, he got the pull. He ain't won shit either, but he got that. Like from a global standpoint, he got it.
He's huge, yeah.
James Harden. Because he's literally like one of the top shooting guards of all time. Yeah, no question about it.
Yeah, no, I get it, man. Like I said, I get it. It's more so a criteria thing, and I do agree.
And I think that's the one thing that needs to, like, what is the criteria when it comes to who do you deem to be a superstar? So once they get once people figure out that criteria, that's just like the Hall of Fame. What's the criteria for the Hall of Fame? No one knows. Nobody knows. But there's so many players that it's like, yo, why is it? Because I feel like Muggsy Bogues should be in the Hall of Fame. Muggsy Bogues, the shortest player to ever play the game and played, I think, 16 years.
I think it was an all-star.
Yeah.
At one point, yeah.
But again, that's just me. That's just me. That's just one of the few players. It's like, yo, why is this player not in the Hall of Fame? But again, and like I said, it's what's the criteria? Same
You can
goes for
say
the
the same thing
NFL.
for NBA top 75. Because I
Yeah.
still say to this day, Dwight Howard should have been
Oh,
in,
no, absolutely.
and not Damian Lillard. I love Dame, but
shit. It was a couple
he's
players
not
because I
on
said
Dwight Howard's
AD
level.
shouldn't have been on
he
top
did.
75.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Again,
But
and for
like you say,
anybody
I don't know what the criteria is, but
yeah, and for anybody that disagrees, go back and watch Prime. When I say Prime Dwight, Orlando Dwight.
Prime Dwight in
Go watch
Orlando
Dwight.
Prime Dwight, because
again, Dwight Howard was a superstar at one point.
Yes, he was. He was huge.
Yeah,
he's massive. Absolutely. All smiles.
That man was unstoppable.
Yeah, defensive player of the year, defense,
like 5-time rebounding champion.
Yeah,
like
all defensive team, freaking led
he definitely had personality for
he
sure.
He checked all those blocks.
Yeah, he definitely checked personality for sure. Not just from a sarcastic standpoint, because I remember it wasn't. They did a mini documentary of how he transformed his body, because back during that time in Orlando, I mean, he was very, very huge, very huge. I mean, like it's just like the broad shoulders, because I mean, I met Dwight once before, but he was still in that same body frame when he got here in Atlanta. But even back in Orlando, it's just like how that mentality of him was saying, look, nobody's not gonna be pushing me around, nobody's not gonna dominate me, I'm gonna be dominating y'all. And it was just like he got in the gym, he worked at it, and
Orlando
and like stuff like that. It just makes me feel like, how in the world did he not make top 75? I mean, yes, he may not. Yes, he won a championship, with the Lakers, but he didn't lead a team to the championship. But bro, look at all the stuff he accomplished, man. And it's just crazy to me.
He led his team to the finals.
He did, at the very least.
I don't think it's a stretch to say he's like top 3 athletic centers of all time. It's given like how he could, like how athletic he was off his offensive rebounding, his putbacks. Of course, he had a good drop step. I was going to say, like, for him not to have like that too like much things in his bag to be able to still score over 20 points a game like that off pure offensive rebounding, lobs, like back to physicality, stuff like that. Yeah, absolutely. And I honestly hope that, because the Magic just retired Shaq's jersey. It took them years to do that. He's literally. I think they raised number 12.
That's not even like.
I think they retired number 12.
Look, that'll be another topic. Jersey retirements.
Absolutely. Oh shit! Don't get me started. That's my favorite.
Because you want to retire everybody's fucking jersey.
Don't get me started.
There's always a story behind it.
For sure. Nah, absolutely. I mean, there's a bunch right now, like, Harden, like Houston, not like 13, like 12 for Orlando. Like, it's like all absolutely, like, for shit, sure. Most definitely.
But like I said, just to end this, like I said, it's more so there just needs to be a actual
criteria.
Even if it's unwritten, there just needs to be some type of criteria that we can look at and be like, yeah, this person checks, this person doesn't. Because to me, like I said, all the young guys they're on the cusp, but they are super great all-stars.
Nah, you're right. For sure, man. And yeah, as we move on to our last topic, you boys already know what time it is. Like I said when the show first started. Yeah, man, we were gonna end the show with just giving our simple NBA Finals predictions. You feel me? It's that time of the year. They happen every single June, regardless if there's early sweeps or if teams are going to Game 7. They're always on schedule to begin in June, early June. So, yeah, boys, you can go ahead and really get to it. Honestly, you both know what two teams are playing. They're actually playing right now. I think OKC is leading 7-1 right now against Indiana, and Miles Turner just missed two free throws at the line right now. So Oklahoma's leading 7-1. So it's not starting out good for the Pacers, but they faced adversity the entire playoffs and have come back. So.
Also welcome Twitter. Welcome everybody from Twitter. Finally what y'all do not know is we've been having technical difficulties this entire time, so it's only been YouTube and TikTok. I just got us for some reason. We finally got up on Twitter. So what up, Twitter family?
Yeah, yo, thank y'all again for joining us, most definitely. And yeah, yo, like I said, we boys and you, we can go ahead and get to it so we can catch the game ourselves. Garrett, I'll start with you. Who are you picking in the 2025 NBA Finals? How many games and why?
Yeah, I do have OKC winning the finals. I think I have it going to 6 games, but Indiana, like we all seen throughout the playoffs, they proved, or I should say, shocked a lot of people of how far they come. So it could go to 7 games, but I think it'll go to 6 in OKC's favor due to the simple fact that OKC, they are a better team in terms of execution, as far as knowing how to execute, getting things done, playing the right way and making sure everyone is on the same page, with their sets and with the chemistry that they have. And really, I think that they have the better depth on their team when you compare, both sides. I think it's just, outside of SGA and Chet Holmgren, I think that they have a better supporting cast compared to what Tyrese Halliburton and Miles Turner has with, auxiliary pieces around them. So,
Mhm.
Guys like Jalen Williams, of course, Alex Caruso, Case and Wallace. So,
Isaiah Joe.
but yeah, so I think OKC, they are a team that's, I wouldn't say they've been in this position before in terms of making it to the finals, but in terms of that playoff experience and being able to get the feel of it and just really being able to learn from this past season playoffs and just knowing how that felt for everybody. You're hearing SGA and Chet Holmgren about how that impacted them and how it was going to make them better. And you see where they are now. They're in the finals, and like I said, I think they're going to win it all. So, but yeah, I just think they're more. I think that they are the better team. I think they're more well coached. So yeah, I got OKC in 6. So we'll see what happens tonight, but it should be a lot of fun regardless.
Who you got, Wiley?
I'm about to cheat. I'm about to cheat. No, I got OKC in 6, but I feel like this may go 7. And if it goes 7, I got the Pacers. That's right. I'm hedging my bets.
Really? Okay. Okay.
I feel like
All right.
these two teams are pretty much the same.
I
Like,
think they're even too. Hell yeah.
so they're the same. One's just the Dollar General version of the other. And that's no shade, but it's just
Bro,
the
that's
way
low key shade, man. Dollar General, come on now.
Dollar General. I mean, they can't be Costco. They can't be like Kroger.
absolutely
Like,
not.
yeah.
Dollar General. I said what I said.
Man.
But no, I mean, and I say that I say that on the strength of we have seen over the years how OKC has been constructed. Now, some of that was luck, some of it was luck, but in the grand scheme of it, Sam Presti knows what the fuck he's doing. Hence the reason why you have this OKC team that you have today. Hence the reason why you had the OKC team that you had back then with KD and the boys. So this is no surprise when seeing OKC in the finals. It was a matter of getting all your pieces together, getting your actual piece that you thought was going to be the face of the team healthy in Chet, but then stumbling upon the biggest gem you could ever find in Shea. So, like seeing the Thunder in the finals, it's not a big shocker. Now, this season that they had was a shocker because I did not expect them to go off the way they did during the regular season. But to see them here now, I'm not surprised at all. They're again the way that this team is constructed from top to bottom, they should be here. Now when it comes to the Pacers are built somewhat the same way. Again, just a lighter version. But their thing, the best part about the Pacers and the reason why we see them here, which to be honest shouldn't be a shocker because they have probably the best record since the All-Star break.
One of them, yeah, it was OKC and Oklahoma. Yeah. It was Indiana and Oklahoma.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it should not be a shocker that these two teams are playing in the finals because they have played the best basketball since the All-Star break. Mm-hmm. A lot of we saw it took some luck. It took a little bit of luck to get here, but their pace, no pun intended, the pace that they play basketball is going to wear you out. So if they're able to get this pace, if they're able to play with pace like they like to do, they are bound to give the Thunder fits. I'm not saying that it's going to give them fits to the point where they'll dog them out or anything like that, but it's going if they're able to
irritate them a little bit.
Yeah, if they're able to play the game that they want to play at the pace that they want to play, we might be in for a dogfight. We just might be in for a dogfight. I hope so. Mm-hmm. I selfishly hope so. I would love to see this. I would love to see a
go down to the wire.
Match. Yeah, I would love to see a tennis match of it going back and forth. That's why I say, like, I believe, like I said, if I got OKC in 6, but if this goes 7, I feel like the Pacers may take it because they ain't got shit to lose. They ain't got nothing to lose right now. They're playing with house money.
Right.
Where OKC, on the other hand, this is the reason why they built this team. Yeah. So this is the expectation. So that's my take for the finals.
Nah, great breakdowns from both of y'all, man. I guess I'll go ahead and give mine. I do have the Indiana Pacers winning this series in 7 games. I think it's going to be really, really close down to the wire. Wiley literally said everything I was going to say. I think Tyrese Halliburton has even risen his game to an even higher level. That Knicks series did show that, especially the game when he had 32 points, 12 rebounds with 15 assists and 4 steals, showing he is getting better on the defensive end as well. I think him and SGA kind of mirror each other as 2 tall point guards who are both getting better on the defensive end, but I think Tyrese is the better playmaker while SGA is the more explosive scorer. Of course, he's obviously notorious for getting to the free throw line. But I think Tyrese has he showed everything he needed to show that he can win a championship for this team, lead them
Can I say something about Tyrese real quick, just to kind of add on to your point? He just needs to be more assertive early. Mm-hmm. If he's assertive early, that changes a lot. That changes so much for Indiana, but my bad.
No, you're fine, man. Nah, you're perfectly fine. I love it when y'all always giving good points, man. You're good. And my next point was to yours. He's had a mentality change. You can see him during like the timeouts in the Knicks series, like just with the frustration on his face, even when they were winning because they weren't winning by more. And there was one game, I think it was during the last year. I forgot what the team they beat to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, but Tyrese had hit a game winner. And during the middle of the timeout, you hear him say, we're winning this game. We're winning this game. And that's when he hit the floater game winner to win the playoff game. So the fact that like he's all smiles on the floor, but I think inside he is extremely confident. So much so that it's developing a killer instinct for him. He's taking shots at the end of the game with no hesitation, and he's sending teams home at home. And the Pacers have shown they literally passed every single test they've needed to get to this point, beating the number 1 seeded Cleveland Cavaliers 4-1 like it was nothing, taking 2 games from the New York Knicks, the higher seeded team, and MSG, battling through the adversity, coming back. Because remember, New York was leading the game that Aaron Nesmith hit those 5 3-pointers. And that too, I think,
that was nuts.
Yeah, and I think they've showed it's things like that have showed they're meant to be here. They've risen their level, like, Pascal Siakam had like 39 points one game, and like 2 games later he had another 30 balls. So he's playing great this year compared to his last playoff run last season. And also, I think Rick Carlisle is going to be the better coach in this series. He's the one with the championship experience. He's been here before. He beat LeBron in the Heat with an older Dallas Mavericks team to win his first championship. So I do think compared to Mark Daigneault, he has more championship experience winning a championship. Not only had been there. And outside of that, the rosters are kind of the same. I think that this is the best defensive team OKC has faced in the playoffs, regardless of stats and stuff like that. I think with the bodies and the physicality and how the Pacers play, I think it's going to be really, really good. The Pacers can also spread the floor, similar to how OKC can, because Miles Turner and Pascal Siakam can shoot threes, so that will open up the interior, forcing Chet Holmgren and Isaiah Hartenstein out of the interior, which they've been dominating the whole playoffs, giving teams problems.
That was a low-key great pickup.
Like, yeah, oh, for sure. Coming out of New York, like, he's still super young. Like, I always thought the Knicks let him go like that, you know? And yeah, man, I just think it is gonna go down to the wire. It's gonna be a close game, a close series. I feel it's close already. We'll see how tonight goes. You got to see how they compete with each other. But I think if Indiana shows that they can compete with them, their confidence is at an all-time high, being the underdogs over and over and over, and they continue to win. They showed it when they bounced out Giannis and Damian in the first round, and you bounce out the first seed like it's nothing, and then you go into New York beating them 2 games on their home floor and not choking when they beat you at home, and they close the series out in Indiana. And that too, I don't think they've lost 2 games in a row the entire playoff run. So they really look great the entire time. And I think Rick Carlisle has been the reason for that as well, on top of having 2-star players and multiple players who can play defense and spread the floor with 3-point shooting. So I like this team. I think TJ McConnell is going to do good versus Alex Caruso.
That's one of my X factors for the Pacers, TJ McConnell. And as crazy as it sounds, I have Chet as my X factor for
Oklahoma. I can see why you would say that for sure. Like, and yeah, man, like I said, it's gonna be a close series for sure. I do believe that. Indiana's too confident. If they get down a little bit, they're not gonna panic in the slightest. And they have the firepower. They have the consistent 3-point shooting. Aaron Nesmith was shooting like 43% in the regular season, and he continues to shoot great in the playoffs. Tyrese is as well. Andrew Nembhard is also continuing to hit big shots for them. So they look good, man. Even like when they advanced in that last game versus New York, multiple Pacers had 10+ points. So you have multiple players on this team who can literally get you points and not have to have people create shots for them and things of that nature. So on top of playing good defense as a team, and they have great execution with that championship coach on the sideline. So we'll see what happens, man. I think it's going to be really, really close, but I do got the Pacers winning this in 7 in an upset. In a Membro Finals, most definitely. We'll see what happens. I think it's good that, you know, it's not a landslide or nothing. We got, you know.
I cheat. I got
of course.
OKC is 6, Pacers is 7.
Of course, we're gonna see. I think it's gonna be a good series. I do. I trust Rick Carlisle most definitely to not panic, to know what to do if they lose game 1, whatever. If they win game 1, not get cocky, keep his guys grounded. So that's it for me, man. On this episode of Uncommon Commentators, y'all. It's the NBA Finals, y'all. We want to go watch the game too. Of course, we want to go watch the game too. That's it for me, boys. Unless y'all both got anything else to say. It's been a great year of basketball. You feel me? And it's about to end soon, unfortunately. But yeah, man, how do y'all feel about it? And I'm good if y'all are.
See y'all next week, suckers.
Sure.
I'll holla at y'all.
Enjoy some basketball. Pacers in 7.